There's a naked behind me.
Yep, I see him. He's down.
Nice. Oh my god, I saw that. I wish I was recording. He was just staring at me, his arms on either side of the tree, and he goes, ugh, and he falls to the side. God, that was amazing, Drew.
Hey guys, Operator Drewski here, and today we are going to be talking about a game called Next Day Survival. And you guys are not going to believe me when I say this. You're going to think I am a stupid YouTuber that knows nothing about video gaming. But I will say that this is one of the most, and probably the most interesting survival game I've played in a very, very long time. Especially when the survival game is PvP based, where you can shoot and kill other players, you can steal their gear, you know, the standard Rust, DayZ, Ark survival sort of situation. But it's better than that, because there's an entire system to allow even solo players to team up with other players in the game and actually become friends with each other without worrying about getting shot. It's not like you're bound to this team and like you are forced to play with other players, but you're able to walk up to somebody and within 2 minutes already team up with them and go hunt down an enemy player that you saw in the woods beforehand. It's just so simple. Basically, there's a faction system. There's two different factions, the civilians and the looters. The civilians will fight the looters fight the civilians, etc. And you can choose whether faction you want to be about, I would say, 15 to 30 minutes into the game after you do some missions. Now, let's say you're a looter, and so you're a bad guy, right? You can kill other civs, and you gain reputation for that because those are the bad guys for you. If you're a civ, you kill looters, you gain reputation for that too. Now, if you kill one of your own team, let's say I'm a civilian and I kill a civilian, you become a traitor for an hour and a half in-game. And as a traitor, you can't walk into any civilian camps, you can't walk into any looter camps, even if you're a looter traitor. So you really can't do anything. You're totally locked off from being able to store your items with the merchants. And you're totally locked off with being able to even buy or sell items from the merchants. Everybody will try to kill you. So becoming a traitor is something that you definitely don't want to do in this game. It's something that you're going to be having to really survive and really try to stay alive, because if you're a traitor and you die, your traitor timer restarts. And that's an hour and a half of gameplay that you have to keep your character alive without going to a single base, without going to a single merchant. It's insane. It's awesome, because that really sways people away from shooting people on their own team, and that makes people trust each other so much damn more. It's awesome to be able to walk up to people, see that they're on your own team, and go, hey, do you want to team up with me? Or ask them, you know, where some enemy locations are, what's been going on here lately, and actually have them communicate back to you. That's the cool thing about this too, is that because you're able to actually communicate to people, people are more often able and more often willing to use the in-game VoIP, which is awesome, because then you can walk up to nearly any person in the game, and around 80 to 90% of the people have a microphone and will reply to you and have a good discussion with you when you actually want to talk to them. And throughout this video, I'm going to be showing some examples in the background of, for example, this big fight we did on a looter base. First off, we found, other than Mama Jamu and Via Recon you see in this squad, we found a group of totally random people we had just met that day to fight with us against an entire faction of looters in their own base. And I'm going to be showing you this little assault right here just to show you some actual raw gameplay, raw communication of me and the guys in our team.
Group me. Party me up.
Group me, he says.
Let me roll with you, boy.
Yeah, he wants to roll with us.
Yeah, Coke, do you want to join us in our attack?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, Jamie here will invite you, Jamie.
Oh
I have a sniper, so I'll flank left and I'll cover.
Fucking PUBG.
Yeah.
They're climbing up the tower.
That's a player climbing up the tower.
Really? Dang.
I'm hit.
Jesus.
Are you down? Or are you dead?
No, I'm not dead.
Player's down.
Shots.
Nice.
That's a
Got
fucking
That player had an SVD on him.
Got them
There's
both.
one on the
We got
behind the
them
barracks.
both.
One behind the barracks.
Woo!
What's that?
No, let's take a prisoner.
Got him. I got him.
Let's take a prisoner.
I didn't want to
I didn't
risk
have
it.
ammo. God, I was just clicking.
Player right hill. I got him.
Got him.
Together.
Yeah, okay. There's a guy still in this tower up here. Mid right. I see his gun barrel. You guys, this one right here.
Push in.
Who has a nade?
Guys, we need to push in from the front.
Who has a grenade? There's a guy right up here. You guys.
Fuck, I'm getting
There's a
hit.
guy in this one. He's up in here. You can see his barrel sticking through the bottom. It's
Where?
a player.
Oh, one guy running up. One guy running up.
Whoa.
Left side.
I'm dead, I'm
Goss,
dead, I'm
Goss sniper, Goss sniper.
Nice.
There's a Goss
I
gun
just
somewhere.
took that Goss sniper shot.
Bro,
Yeah,
this guy.
Are you kidding me? Don't.
Taking shots?
Oh, he's still in the tower. Still right far tower. I think they respawned or they're back in it.
No, it's a player up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that.
Damn.
Someone needs to take him out.
There's no
I
way
don't
to
have
really.
any ammo left.
There's guys in the barracks. Watch
Yeah,
out.
that tower. Nice, you got him. Good job. Good job.
Can we go?
I'll cover.
Climb that.
Climb up.
I'm almost
Yep.
dead.
You see the tower to my left?
Yeah.
Go up there. There's a.
Oh shoot! Someone's hunting me. Need help.
Can't.
Got him.
Got him. Jeez, holy crap.
Bunch of medkits.
Hey,
SCVs,
other tower.
bunch of
Tower
mag-
across. Tower across. Got him. Woo!
Oh
Let's
my
go.
god.
Dudes, heck yeah.
That was
Holy
fun.
That
Although we
was
couldn't loot
badass.
anyone, that sucked, but
Yo guys, be careful. There's a guy in the building up there. There's
Uh-oh.
a looter.
In the building? Where?
Yeah, in the building. He's alone.
The factory, like over there to the southwest?
Yeah, just right here. Up
Okay.
there with our
Alright,
army
fuck,
guys.
I'm going.
Okay, gotcha.
So-
let's go.
Wait,
You wanna
what's
go
going
kill
on?
him?
There's a guy.
Get back.
We'll help you out, man.
all these-
We are literally a group of like
Yeah, I
10
am.
people.
I'll-
I would
I'll do it,
would
you guys.
very much rather you not try to
Oh,
kill.
okay, hands up, you're surrounded.
Listen, you are surrounded. You're gonna come out with your hands
Stop right
up.
there, criminal scum.
You're surrounded. Put your hands up. You'll die. We'll let you live if you just fucking put your hands up.
I see him. He's not looking. Come on. Just line up behind
Here,
him.
no. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. Tell him
No.
to put his
Oh,
hands
no,
up.
I think he died. He died.
Really?
Oh,
I wanted to arrest him. Or not arrest him, but like.
In any other survival game, if you meet another player randomly in the middle of a forest in the middle of nowhere where you're not near any other towns or something, you're probably just going to be shot on sight. I mean, that other person has no consequence to shooting you because nobody's going to hear the shot. And it's economical for them to just shoot you on sight because then they don't have to spend time talking to you a little bit more, and then maybe at the end of the conversation possibly have a trade of like maybe a few items or so. But that's as far as it'll go, really, and it takes a long time for that to happen, and also he can't get all of your gear, and he can't get a lot more money if he just talks to you. Now, what if he just shoots you in the head and takes all your stuff? That means that he can grab all your stuff without your consent and go and sell it and make more money for him to get better items later in the future. If he goes over to the next town and meets another player, that other player's not going to have any idea that this guy who just walked out of the forest just killed an innocent man. On the other hand, in Next Day Survival, if you are walking through a forest and you see another player, you scope in on them and you see their name is bright red and it has traitor right next to it, you know precisely that they have killed somebody of their own faction within the last hour and a half. And you actually gain reputation by killing that traitor if you just see him out in the middle of nowhere. You'll sometimes have moments where outside of the civilian base, somebody sees a traitor and they run into the civ base and go, "Hey guys, I just saw a traitor. He ran that direction." And everybody, like total groups of random people, will go out hunting for a single traitor. It's an awesome system and it works extremely well because then it makes it so you trust other civilians that are in your own faction so much more than you would in any other survival game. So you guys might also ask while watching the background footage of this video, how is the gunplay? What do you think about the gunplay? How are the guns balanced? How are, they priced in the merchant system and such? And how do they fit into the game? Well, first off, the first few missions, you make an actual handmade rifle that can shoot 9x19 ammo. And it's pretty useful. You can hunt your first like wolf with it. You can kill some bears with it if you got a little hiding position from a bear, because it will maul you. You won't be able to do enough damage with just the single shot mechanism of that gun unless you're hiding up in a spot. But you can do a little bit of damage with it. And overall, I mean, in the next 30 minutes, you're already going to have an AK from another mission. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty fast-paced to get your first rifle in the game. So you won't be spending too much time just digging at the ground, trying to find some bullets. It's pretty easy to get onto your feet in this game. You see most players walking around with an AKM in their hands. That's the most reliable and just easiest to use gun. It's got a high damage at closer to medium range, but it doesn't really do well at longer ranges. You really have to slowly single shot it to just get that kind of aim cone down, because if you fire it over a burst over time, that spread of the bullets will start increasing and you really just cannot hit anything at long range with it. But that's where the longer range weapons come in, like the AS Val, for example, or even the M4. The very expensive assault rifles will be a little bit more accurate. And even in like a AK-12, for example, will be slightly more accurate than the AKM, but a little bit more expensive to upkeep. And let me talk about that very quickly. Weapons are extremely expensive to keep operational. Basically, they have magazines, they have ammo that you shoot into other players or other beings like wolves and bears and stuff, or other AIs and such, and those magazines are very, very expensive. For example, a standard AKM is, I think, around $3,500, and if you have an SVD Dragunov, which is a sniper rifle, you take the magazine out of that sniper rifle, it's worth $3,600. So a magazine out of a sniper rifle is more expensive than a assault rifle by itself. That shows you how the economy works in this game. You have to be pretty high up there to actually purchase sniper rifles and actually be able to afford to upkeep the magazines for those sniper rifles. It's very, very interesting, because that makes it where for every single shot you take, you're wondering, is this shot worth it? Do I actually want to kill this random guy who's unarmed, running through the forest? Is it even worth, like, is all of his gear even worth one shot out of this 10-round magazine that's worth $3,600? So that's another thing that kind of makes killing on sight a little bit lesser, because fighting overall is very, very expensive in the game. You're running short for money unless you really get a good raid done. You get a lot of backpacks, you get a lot of clothing and assault weapons to sell, and then you're good to go on money for a little bit, but you soon have to come back and get some more loot to sell, otherwise you're going to be running short on ammo. And there's even some kind of mythical guns in there, like the AKN, this crazy suppressed AK that's more accurate than the standard AKM, and also is able to shoot a lot faster rate of fire and such, and just do a lot more damage. Then there is the legendary Gauss rifle that is absolutely terrifying. I've only seen it fired twice in this entire, like, 20 hours that I've played this game. Additionally, what's kind of difficult to upkeep as well is the actual survival element of the game. This game is called Next Day Survival for a reason, because food is actually kind of expensive to purchase. You actually have to go out and scavenge food and water, and you have to think about, like, you actually have to think, like, okay, I need to probably bring a steak, maybe 2 steaks, and a water bottle, and maybe a canteen to be able to survive this long trek or long hike I'm going to go on, because otherwise, you're probably going to get starving and you're probably going to get hungry and such. There is a stamina bar. You do actually start using more of your water and using more of your food in your stomach as you start to kind of over-encumber yourself and your stamina starts going lower. You will use more energy, and therefore moving a lot, you know, will take more food and water away from you. And so having food and water on you is extremely important, and using the wells, for example, at forts to be able to replenish yourself with water is a hugely important aspect of the game. And it does it a lot. It's a lot more influential, I guess, in this game than any other survival game I've played. Even Rust. I have to drink and eat a lot more on this game than I do in Rust. In Rust, I usually just forget about it, or I'm usually just, like, kind of eating a snack every once in a while just to keep my health at 100, but that's really it. In this game, you are struggling to find a wolf or something to kill so that you can get meat. And you actually get scared whenever you leave the base not on a full stomach. Now, there are some weird bugs with the game that we've encountered so far, and I think we've only encountered one big one and maybe some small other ones that, you know, just are things that probably will be changed in the future that aren't really considered bugs in my opinion. But for example, my friend Via, he got a mission, and he's a civ. He got a mission to go kill some people. He was like, okay, that's simple, I'm gonna go kill them. He goes over to them, and we're like, I don't think those are traitors or looters. I think those are civilians. And he's like, yeah, but it tells me I have to kill them. I'm like, okay, whatever you want to do. So Via, just hoping that the game wouldn't turn him into a traitor, kills these civs because he was commanded to by this mission, and ended up being a traitor because he killed like 3 civs. And he's like, what the heck? Like, I have to live for an hour and a half now to not be a traitor. Just because this mission told me to kill these civilians when he's a civilian himself. So there are some things that could be fixed in terms of, like, the missions, and there are some tiny little tweaks of the economy as well. Like, for example, an AKM mag is like 30 rounds for, let's say, for example, it's like 700 coins or 700 rubles. So you get 30 rounds for 700 rubles. There's also the RPK mag, which also works in the AKM. So you can have the 75 round drum magazine work in the AKM, and it's only worth 1,000. So 30 rounds for $700 or 700 rubles compared to 75 rounds for 1,000 rubles. So you get a little bit higher of a price, but you also get a much larger magazine size and you get more ammo. So I mean, overall, it's always better to just have an AKM with RPK mags because then you have basically an RPK. There are some items in the game as well that aren't really exactly like great items to have in the game, yet they're very, very expensive. For example, there's like this black trench coat that does protect you quite a bit because it does have some armor in it, but it's extremely visible from long distances, and I don't know why you would wear it because it's just like in this game, camouflage is basically everything in my opinion, and this coat is like 1,000 rubles each. So basically, you could sell 3 of these coats and get an AK from this one type of coat. And there are some, you know, vests and shirts and pants and stuff that are worth the money, and like I would think that they're reasonable in what they cost. But there's some items as well, like backpacks, for example, that sell for so much compared to the standard assault rifle. Like if you go to sell an AK, it'll be less than your standard backpack in the game, which is crazy. But that's just how the economy works right now. There's clothing is a lot more expensive and a lot more worth it to sell than assault rifles and sniper rifles. Nobody even sells guns in this game. Like once you're 10 hours in the game, you realize, oh, guns don't even, like, unless you need money, you don't need to sell any guns. They're just not really worth it. Keeping them is more worth it than actually selling them. But what that kind of does as well is keep players using their high-end weapons as well. So you don't just see one type of all-around good gun in the game. You see a plethora of different weapons that people are using: shotguns, AKs, SVDs, VSSs, AS-Vals, Makarovs. You see a lot of different weapons when you're playing this game, and it's a lot more interesting that way, in my opinion. So yeah, what do you guys think about this game? I'm honestly extremely impressed by it. For $9.99, I'm not sponsored, but I highly suggest this game to anybody who likes survival games, who has played any of the Stalker or Metro series before, anybody who likes DayZ, anybody who likes Exile or any of the survival games, Rust. You're going to like this game. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Highly suggest it. See you in the next one.